It's a great big day. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find the Spider-Man.
Come on!
Number 1.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but to my recollection, Spider-Man had no spider sense. At no point did that spider sense ever tingle. And frankly, I was a little bit confused in regards to what his powers actually were. You see, at the beginning of the film, I thought this is kind of cool because it's like a normal kid who's been given this great opportunity through technology to become Spider-Man, because Tony Stark gives him this amazing suit which gives him amazing powers.
Activating advanced reconnaissance mode.
And I thought that's actually really cool because millions of kids read Spider-Man and thought, I'd love to be Spider-Man, that would be so cool. And I thought the movie was playing on that, the idea that with modern technology maybe you could be Spider-Man because of this incredible suit. And since the origin of Spider-Man being bitten by the spider wasn't in this movie, I thought maybe this was a new origin story, except that it is mentioned that he was bitten by a spider. And I was like, oh, so he actually does have powers. It's not just the suit. Okay, then where are his other powers? Where's his heightened sense? Where is my spider senses tingling? All of that was completely missed or omitted or forgotten, and that is an integral part of the character. But instead, he had to use the suit and he'd be like, infrared mode, audio mode. Like when he goes to the petrol station, he's listening to the bad guys and he's like, oh, now that I have hyper audio on the suit and I can listen in to what the bad guys are saying, now I know that they're bad guys because I can hear them, right? Well, he's not supposed to need that because he's supposed to have a spider sense that tells him if there's danger afoot. The same as the fact that early on in the movie, he keeps like capturing people who aren't even bad guys, stopping people from getting into their own cars and saying, you shouldn't steal that car. And the guy's like, it's my own car. Well, where's the spider sense? He's supposed to have this internal emotional barometer that's superior to anyone else to let him know if it's good or bad, evil or benevolence, you know, but it's not there. So I was like, well, that's just missing.
Number 2.
Okay, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is a scientist, a little kid who's amazing at science, right? And he's supposed to be really intelligent. Even the love of his life, she says to him, you're the most intelligent guy I know, Peter, right? And yet, what happens? He takes off the Tony Stark tracking device from his suit. About halfway through the movie, he's like, I don't want to be tracked. So he takes it off and he goes, have fun tracking this lamp. And he sticks it to a lamp, which number one is fucking dumb, because if you want them to believe that you're actually still moving, you would put the tracker on like a moving car or a dog or something so they aren't completely aware that you took the tracker off, which obviously they're going to be aware of if you put it on a fucking lamp. So that was stupid. But the other thing is, it was only just before then that Spider-Man got knocked out of the sky from above the clouds, right? Fell all the way to Earth in a parachute, got wrapped up in the parachute, fell into a lake, is suffering, drowning, dying in this sea of blackness, right? His life is about to come to an end. What a horrific demise, okay? And then guess what? Iron Man comes down and saves his life because of that tracker, okay? Iron Man, or a suit of Iron Man, comes down and saves his life. And you're expecting me to believe that this intelligent, super intelligent kid fucking takes the tracker off in pretty much the next scene? That is so dumb. No one would ever do that. You'd have to be the biggest fucking moron in the world to take that tracker off. It's the only thing that kept him alive.
Number 3.
The Vulture, Michael Keaton, Keaton's good, right? Keaton is instantly likable because he's Michael Keaton. It's like, oh look, it's Beetlejuice, or oh look, it's Batman. That's cool, we like Michael Keaton. But the thing is that's just a really cheap way of getting the audience to instantly care about the bad guy by just making him a guy who the audience already know and like. If you were to actually look at it in terms of script and story and character development, there's no character development at all. Like, that character doesn't seem to have any real incentive. There's just nothing there. It's just like, it begins, you got Michael Keaton dealing with some alien technology, right? And then somebody drops an insult to him. So Michael Keaton punches the guy in the face, and like all dumb Hollywood movies, everybody pulls out a gun and points it at him. Like, why would you point a gun at a guy who just punched you in the face? Like, are they really so utterly useless that they can't just fight back? Or at least be like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why the hell do you have to pull out a gun? But that's pretty much the only kind of thing that you see of his character. Someone pissed me off, so I punched him. And that's it. But if you compare that to the way bad guys are developed in the Raimi movies or the comics, there's so much more going on. The Green Goblin, the actual fights with the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie are not my favourite. I think the Vulture looked amazing in this film. He looked better than the Green Goblin looked in the Raimi films. But the fact is you do like the Green Goblin man. The same with Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. This is somebody who Peter admires and looks up to. He's an intelligent man, he's a likable man, he's a lovable man. They give him about 15 minutes of character development, him explaining his motives, his belief in science, his passion for it, how he wants to do good for the world, all this kind of stuff, so that when he does become a villain, it's much more human, because if you look into any case of people who do bad things, there's always a juxtaposition between, is this person actually a bad person, or is their evil just a result of bad circumstances? None of that is in this movie. There is one attempt way too late at the end of the film when Keaton is like, those people at the top, you know, they don't care about us, they don't care about me and you, we're just nothing to them. They've got all the money, and we just get their scraps. And it's like, okay, but you're introducing this way too late. It's just kind of pointless. And the fact is so his incentive is money. That's all it is. A guy who's already unbelievably wealthy and unbelievably rich, and his only incentive is like, I want more money. Because they've got, it's like, this guy's already at the top. Look at what he works with. He's dealing with enough money that he can build fucking vulture suits and stuff. Like, it's a ridiculous thing to just inject in to try and give the character some kind of depth, which is lacking. There's no character development.
Number 4.
Literally, for a superhero movie, especially a Spider-Man movie, he didn't save anybody. The only people he saves are his friends in the elevator. And to me, the only reason that scene is in the movie is because the writers were like, well, we need a reason for Michael Keaton to not kill him when he finds out Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So if he saves Keaton's daughter's life in the elevator, then we have a reason. So it was like, this is the only reason he saves anyone as a plot device. But he doesn't actually save really anybody at any point in the movie. Even, it was a really good bank fight with the fake Avengers at the beginning, but he doesn't save anyone. It doesn't work out. And then he runs across the street, Spider-Man, to save the guy who makes him sandwiches in the sandwich shop. But we don't even see that. And that's the only guy who he actually saves. He's supposed to be the hero who goes out and just kind of saves anyone and everyone. Instead, he's just stopping people who aren't actually criminals, which is okay for a joke. Goes against the spider sense thing I mentioned already. The other thing is, a core staple of Spider-Man, something that is intrinsic to the character, is that his problems are the problems of a teenager who's trying to do great things and losing his own social life, his own love life, as a result of the greater good. So in the comics, in the original stories, and even in the Raimi movies, what will happen is Spider-Man's like, I want to hang out with my friends, but I have to go and beat bad guys. I want to go on a date with this girl, but I have to go and beat this terrible criminal.
Here's your change!
So I cannot actually help my friends. I cannot be with my friends, and I keep losing face and losing respect because I'm trying to do the right thing.
She's a friend of mine. She asked me to come.
But not to come late.
And that's the kind of tragedy, that's the duality, that's the yin-yang of Spider-Man having to deal with these kinds of emotional obstacles. But in this movie, it's like, well, the only people he saves are his own friends, which is the whole, it's sort of opposite to the Spider-Man themes, the interesting Spider-Man themes. He wasn't there for his friends, right? Because he had to beat bad guys. That's the point. Not, I beat the bad guys and I saved my friends. It was just an excuse so that the Vulture doesn't kill him in a car. We should have seen Spider-Man saving some other people.